Good evening to you. I'm Danilo Evangelista, and welcome to our evening update on Hurricane Lorena. As I promised earlier today when I did my video update earlier today, I promised that I would do an update this evening on Lorena, since it will be an impactful storm to Mexico, and obviously it is a hurricane. It will make landfall on Mexico, and there are a few things you need to know about the storm, even though it's not going to be a huge storm. So I'm going to go over all of what you need to know. Of current and future information on Lorena in this update, and I hope you find it informative. And let's start off with a satellite image of Hurricane Lorena right now. Intensified decently today. It is, I believe, up to Category 1 status right now, but not thinking it's going to intensify much further. CDO definitely somewhat defined here, but we have convective bursts, which are not fully wrapping around the storm. So I guess there might be a little bit of shear impacting the storm right now. At least that's what it seems to me on satellite. But this is still a hurricane nonetheless, although it will strengthen a little bit. And obviously, it will bring impacts to Mexico. In fact, there are probably quite a few thunderstorms and gusty winds already occurring along the Baja Peninsula right now. And obviously, currently, Lorena is a hurricane. The latest 5 p.m. advisory, at least 5 p.m. Mountain Time in Mexico, the storm is 80 miles per hour, so Category 1 intensity, with a minimum central pressure of 985 millibars. And if you're tracking it, it is located at 23.1 north and 112.9 west if you're, tracking it on the, physical map that you color in. Although I think most people really do that only in the Atlantic, whatever. And it is moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. And really quickly, there is Hurricane Kiko here. And we'll go over Hurricane Kiko more in tomorrow's update. But it is a strengthening major hurricane now. As I said, it would be now up to Category 4 and probably going to strengthen even further than that. But again, I'll go over more with Kiko in tomorrow morning's video when I go over the rest of the tropics. And here's the 5-day cone. Well, it doesn't really include up to 5 days because by the time this is inland this weekend, it'll probably already be dissipating and not a traceable feature by the time we get to 5 days. So here's the remaining several days from the forecast by the National Hurricane Center. And obviously, this is a hurricane right now. Going to remain a hurricane through tomorrow morning. But then by tomorrow evening, this is probably going to begin to weaken to a tropical storm. But that does not take away the impacts that we're going to have. Obviously, tropical storm warnings are in effect for portions of the Baja Peninsula coast. And let me actually read you what those warnings are. So we have a tropical storm warning in effect for the west coast of Baja California Sur, from Santa Fe to Punta Eugenia. And we also have tropical storm watches in effect for the west coast of Baja Peninsula Sur from Todos Santos northward to Santa Fe, and then also from Santa Rosalia to Baja de Los Angeles. They have a place called Los Angeles in Mexico. That's pretty interesting. Well, I guess Los Angeles was at one point also a part of Mexico too. So, similar names, but tropical storm warnings in effect for portions of Baja California. And again, this is going to bring tropical storm conditions, but the biggest impact from Lorena is going to be the heavy rain, which will occur over general northwestern Mexico through the weekend and into next week. And a lot of that moisture, a lot of the moisture associated with Lorena is going to make its way into the southwest and south central portions of the United States, as I will show you towards the end. But reading the key messages here, there will be heavy rainfall. And what do you know? I say the biggest threat is rainfall from this, and that's the number one key message that the National Hurricane Center has. So keep in mind of the rainfall. And as always, I say, you have to keep in mind because rainfall is the number one biggest killer when it comes to tropical storms. So We're going to have heavy rainfall associated with Lorena. Reading the first key message here. Will continue to impact Baja California Sur, moving into southwestern Sonora by Thursday. And these rains, especially in Central America, they cause flash flooding and mudslides because there is a lot of mountainous terrain, especially in Central America. So that definitely takes a lot of lives, and that's very hazardous. And then again, as I mentioned, moisture from Lorena is likely to contribute to heavy rainfall across Arizona, southern New Mexico through Saturday. And I'll show you the flash flooding risk in a moment. And then, of course, the center of Lorena is forecast to move parallel to but offshore of the southwest coast of the Baja Peninsula tonight. And then it's going to eventually take a turn to the northeast. And then it's going to make landfall in the central Baja Peninsula. And they mentioned that tropical storm warnings are in effect, and tropical storm conditions are also possible beginning Friday along the east coast of the Baja California Peninsula, where there are also tropical storm watches in effect. And also, got to keep this in mind as well. There are rip currents which will affect portions of the southern and western coasts of Baja California Sur during the next couple of days. And again, I mention that because rip currents are also a huge issue that a lot of people forget. One of the two impacts or things that I'm trying to make you aware about, and I've definitely tried quite a bit this season, is making you aware of rip currents because they do take a lot of lives, and I think I've done a pretty good job so far. But keep in mind, we have flash flooding, which will occur in northwestern Mexico and in the southwestern United States. And actually, that's actually what the next graphic is here. Greatest flash flood risk, specifically over the southern United States. And it is most prevalent, especially in southern Arizona, and even some pretty noticeable towns as well, like Phoenix and Tucson, under a slight risk of potential flash flooding. And that occurs all the way from Thursday to Saturday. So multi-day event that we're going to have flash flooding here in southern Arizona. And again, this is the rainfall forecast over the next 3 days. And the highest rainfall before we get to southwestern United States, the highest rainfall will be over northwestern Mexico and the Baja Peninsula. And some places in here might actually get as much as a foot of rain with locally higher amounts. And that even extends into portions of northwestern Mexico, where I think the state of Sonora, and I think there's another state here, but widespread heavy rain again throughout portions of Baja Peninsula and northwestern Mexico. And I want to show you here on the GFS that moisture then eventually, as you could see here on the 700 to 300 relative humidity, obviously as Lorena makes landfall, that moisture then moves inland over northern Mexico, and then ends up over the southwestern United States, and then especially into Texas as we head into the end of the week, or as we head pretty decently into the end of this week. So yes, the end of the week, but also into next week as well. And so we're going to have a lot of rainfall, not just in Mexico, but also along the southwest United States, obviously for Arizona. But that's also going to stretch as well into Texas too. And here's the 7-day forecast from the WPC to show that quite a bit of rainfall over Texas, definitely quite a lot over southern Arizona, and also New Mexico too, and also going to get some rainfall here in southeastern California as well. So if you're in the southwest and south central United States, look out for the rainfall. I know some of you might want it, but especially if you remember just 2 months ago in early July, how badly things got just by flash flooding here in Texas, you'll definitely know that you need to keep a close eye out whenever we have these flash flooding events. And again, I always say flash flooding, rainfall, #1 killer when it comes to tropical cyclones. And again, that sometimes gets proven time and time again to be the number one killer. So please keep that in mind. And if you're along the Baja Peninsula, definitely make sure to batten down the hatches tonight and tomorrow as Lorena will be coming in. It's not going to be a terribly strong storm. It's only a category 1, and it's going to weaken to a tropical storm. So it's not going to be anything crazy. Not going to be like Hurricane Odile, which made landfall as a pretty strong storm here in the southern tip of the Baja. Not going to be anything like that, or anything like Otis or anything like that. But it is a tropical storm nonetheless, and it will bring impacts that will probably be significant enough to put a dent in your life in some form. But hopefully it's not anything too significant. But thanks for watching this evening's update. Obviously, I'll be back with more tomorrow whenever we go over the rest of the tropics, and I'll maybe do another special update on Lorena tomorrow, as by that time it'll probably be very close to hitting Mexico. But hope you found this video informative, and if you're interested in more updates, again, please, as always, as I say, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bells so you can get videos like this the moment I upload them. Enjoy the rest of your evening, stay safe, and I'll be back with more tomorrow.